and welcome you all to my YouTube channel. I am Megha. Today, in the part 3rd of mutation, I will cover gene mutation in autosomes. So let's learn together about it. Gene mutation in autosomes takes place in two ways, or we can say they are of two types: recessively inherited traits and dominantly inherited traits. Recessively inherited traits show their characteristics only when the condition is homozygous. Okay, focus on this. Only when the condition is homozygous, then only recessive genes show their characteristics. Whereas the dominantly inherited traits in these genes show their characteristics even when the condition is heterozygous. Okay, dominantly inherited traits are occur by dominant genes which can show their characteristic in both the condition, heterozygous as well as homozygous. But recessive gene only shows their characteristics in homozygous condition. Alright. Now the disease which we will discuss here, recessively inherited disease, are alkaptonuria, phenylketonuria, albinism and sickle cell anemia. So these are the main which we will learn here. And dominantly inherited traits are polydactyly, brachydactyly, crowns of the teeth wear down quickly, a form of dwarfism. In polydactyly condition, there are extra digits. Okay, the infected person have extra digits of fingers, or we can say the fingers of hands and legs. There are some extra fingers. Okay, whereas in brachydactyly condition, the fingers are shorter as compared to normal. Okay, shorter digits. So in the defected people, the crowns of the teeth wear down quickly, and dwarfism is also a dominantly inherited trait. Now learn in detail about recessively inherited traits. First one is alkaptonuria. So the important thing in this disease is the homogenesic acid. Okay, the person who is having this disease, they have the accumulation of homogenesic acid in the body. Okay, which acid? Homogenesic acid gets accumulated in their body. Now when this acid comes out through urine, it combines with oxygen and forms a black color of pigment. Okay, a black color of pigment is formed when this homogenesic acid combines with oxygen. Now this acid gets accumulated in the cartilages of ears and nose, and it also causes mild arthritis in alkaptonuric persons. Okay, so affected individuals may have dark urine and there is a darkening of cartilages. Now if we talk about a normal person, okay, normal person means the person is not having the disease. So in such person, there is an enzyme, a liver enzyme, homogentisate oxidase. Okay, homogentisate oxidase enzyme is produced in normal person, which help in catalyzing the breakdown of homogentisic acid to compounds which enter the Krebs cycle to produce carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so in the normal person, homogentisic acid gets breakdown, whereas in the alkaptonuric person, homogentisic acid cannot break down, it gets accumulates in the body, and which causes the disease called alkaptonuria. Is it clear? Learn the acid name. Which acid is there? Acid is homogentisic acid. Now about the next disease, that is phenylketonuria, also called PKU. Okay, phenylketonuria. So this disease causes extreme mental retardation in the children. Okay, it causes extreme mental retardation in the children, which is due to the accumulation of phenylalanine. Okay, it is due to the accumulation of the amino acid phenylalanine. Now why this happens? Because the person lacks the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. Okay, they lack the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase, which is very important to change phenylalanine to amino acid tyrosine. So this enzyme is not present in the affected person. Alright, so this phenylalanine build up in the body and their metabolites causes extreme mental retardation. Okay, they damages the brain and causes the disease PKU, that is phenylketonuria. Okay, hope it is clear. Remember the name phenylalanine. Accumulation of phenylalanine in the disease in the body causes the disease PKU. Okay. Now next disease is about pigment, that is melanin. The disease is albinism. It is characterized by the lack of the pigment melanin. Okay, there is a shortage of the pigment melanin, or we can say lack of the pigment melanin in the body, in the skin, hair and iris, leads to a disease called albinism. And this disease is caused by the absence of enzyme tyrosinase. Okay, absence of enzyme tyrosinase. Remember the name tyrosinase, and the lack of the pigment melanin. This tyrosinase is necessary for the synthesis of the pigment melanin from dihydroxyphenylalanine. Okay, dihydroxyphenylalanine. Now, you know about the peacock, white color peacock, that is also an albino bird. Okay, now as we are learning about recessively inherited traits, so these disease we are talking about, in this the genes only show their characteristics when the condition is homozygous. Okay, homozygous condition is there, then only the genes show their characteristic, whereas in heterozygous condition the person is not having the disease. Okay, they are not having the disease, but they are the carrier. They can carry the disease to the next generation. Now about the sickle cell anemia. This disease is characterized by the shape of the cell, shape of the red blood cell. Now, which type of shape is there? That is sickle shape, also called crescent shape. So in this disease, the shape of the cell changes. Now, why this happen? This is due to the defective hemoglobin. Presence of defective hemoglobin in the cell leads to the change in the shape of the cell. Okay, when there is a shortage of oxygen, so what will happen? These defective hemoglobin cells, they changes their shape and become sickle shape because their fibers get stiff, which leads to the change in the shape. Okay, now what will happen then? When the shape changes, sickle shape red blood cells cannot pass through the narrow capillaries. They cannot pass through the narrow capillaries and they block the path. Okay, see this picture. Here you can observe that the sickle cell shape block the path. Okay, due to which the circulation stops or reduces. Alright, so sickle shape cannot easily pass through the narrow capillaries, whereas the healthy red blood cells, they can easily pass through the narrow capillaries, they can change their shape and they can easily pass, but the sickle cell cannot. And these cells also destroyed very easily. Okay, the life of these cells is very short. They destroyed very easily, and due to which it leads to a disease called anemia. Okay, it leads to a disease called anemia. Now this happens due to a change in the single nucleotide. Okay, defective hemoglobin S, sickle type of hemoglobin occurs due to a single change in the beta polypeptide chain of hemoglobin. There is a change in single nucleotide. Okay, see the image. Here you can see the adenine. In place of adenine, thymine comes. Due to this single change, the normal hemoglobin changes to a defective hemoglobin, that is sickle type of hemoglobin. And this is the beta globin chain of hemoglobin, beta polypeptide chain of hemoglobin. So here you can see at the place of glutamic acid, valine is formed, which leads to hemoglobin S. Okay, is it clear? Now there is we can say one advantage of this type of disease, and that advantage is only in the heterozygous condition. Okay, in the heterozygous condition, the person cannot have the disease called malaria, because the malarial parasite of sickle cell die or destroy easily. Okay, so due to which this malaria cannot develop further. So that's why they can be prevented from the disease called malaria. This is all about gene mutation in autosomes. In the next video, we will cover gene mutation in sex chromosomes. Thank you for listening me. Have a nice day.